The world watches as President Trump and President Putin sit down in Anchorage for a critical summit on the war in Ukraine. On his way there, President Trump tells reporters the war's got to stop and the killing's got to stop, and that he's doing this to save a lot of lives. White House Correspondent Owen Jensen joins us with more. Owen.
Tara, good evening. Early this morning around sunrise, President Trump posted on social media, "High stakes," with 3 exclamation points. And at stake, trying to end the war launched by Russia back in February of 2022.
After a long flight, President Donald Trump arrives in Alaska to talk with Russia's Vladimir Putin, the two meeting on a red carpet, shaking hands, posing for pictures. Overhead, U.S. military might on display, a squadron of U.S. stealth military planes. And then driving off together to their summit. Their meeting at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson could determine not only the trajectory of the war in Ukraine, but also the fate of European security. As they meet, the war in Ukraine grinding on, more people killed or wounded in attacks. Earlier in the day, as President Trump traveled to the summit, a reporter asked what would make it a success.
I can't tell you that. I don't know. There's nothing set in stone. I want certain things. I want to see a ceasefire. This is not to do with Europe. Europe's not telling me what to do. But they're going to be involved in the process, obviously, as well as Zelensky. But I want to see a ceasefire rapidly. I don't know if it's going to be today, but I'm not going to be happy if it's not today.
And President Trump discussed the tragic human cost, putting it in numbers.
But what I do care about is they lost last week 7,011 people were lost, almost all soldiers. 36 people in a town which got hit by a missile, but over 7,000 soldiers. It's crazy.
Heading into the talks, the summit carries significant risks for Ukraine, especially since Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and European leaders not invited.
Among those joining President Trump in Alaska, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, and Ambassador Steve Witkoff, who earlier met with Vladimir Putin to set the stage for today's summit.